Hello, Starchaser, good morning.
Safely back on Earth, the Nova rocket is now used to enthuse the next generation of rocket scientists with school visits.
Right, well basically we have a Nova rocket which was launched from Morecambe Bay in 2001, which is on a 55-foot articulated trailer. It weighs 15 tons. I'm going to have to find out whether I can actually get it into your school at some time.
When we get this big rocket out, when we get Nova out and the roller shutters come up, and it's just like something out of Thunderbirds. It's like Thunderbird 2 coming out.
What I'm looking at basically is access into the school from the main road there, to see that we've actually got enough room to come into the main entrance.
We've had this rocket on the road for like 5 years now, but it still looks really weird, you know, when we go past terraced houses and things.
We have some very amusing incidents from the point of view. I just ask a teacher over the telephone, you know, what the postcode is, and they give me the postcode, and I'll say, just hang on a second, I'll have a look at you now. I just kind of like come up with things like, can you just go out? Oh yeah, I can see you waving your hand now. And really, can you? You know, where are you picking it up from? It's a joke actually, because these things are taken at different times in the year.
When it's out on the moors or out on the sands and we're about to launch it, you know, that looks fine, you know, it's in context, but when it goes past rows of Coronation Street type houses, you know, it still looks a little bit funny.
Steve's company runs an outreach project which quite literally lands this huge rocket in schools across the country. For the children and the teachers, this is an exciting way of bringing science alive. Space may be limited in the playground, but high above the Earth, the possibilities of space are endless.
It goes up to 5,000 feet in 16 seconds. I want to go on that.
This rocket is the largest rocket ever to be launched from the UK mainland. This rocket is the only British rocket capable of carrying a person. On the 22nd of November 2001, this rocket flew on an unmanned test flight a mile into the air above Morecambe Bay up here in the northwest of England.
Steve and his team not only build and launch rockets, they plan to launch some of these kids on a career in the space industry and make a few dreams come true.
So that means you need your fins stuck up.
Well, we've got a team of people here today that are pretty experienced in doing this kind of thing. We've been on the road for about 4 years now with the road show, and it just keeps getting better and better. And what we're doing is attracting people from all over the world to our outreach team. We've got some really, really good science communicators here. So it's all about driving home this message that Britain has a future in space, and, you know, science is cool.
Has yours gone fairly high?
The highest I've seen one of these rockets go was the same height as a 14-storey building. When it hit the flagstones, it made a very loud noise.
3, 2, 1, whoa! Okay, the first one shows me up. Well done, that one I think went higher than mine.
It's great to see the reaction from the kids, because this kind of strikes a chord with them. You know, they're still into Thunderbirds and all that. That keeps coming round, and space engages kids. It's exciting. Rockets are exciting. Even a small rocket like this, it works in the same way as this one or the space shuttle. So they're learning real rocket science, and it's not just dry textbook learning. It's all about physically doing it, building the rocket yourself, launching it yourself, and then they go away with something. Then, you know, they go away with the experience. We turn these kids into rocket scientists for the day. I'm living my dream. I think that's what everybody should do, you know, follow your dream. You know, when we go to schools and we talk to kids, that's one of the things that I try to convey to the kids, that you don't have to be rocket scientists or astronauts. You know, if that's not your bag, you don't have to do that. But if you really wanted to be that football star, or you really wanted to be that fashion model, go for it. If you work hard enough, you can do it.
On the banks of the River Mersey, just opposite Liverpool, is Spaceport, the present home of many of Steve's early rockets. It's a chance for the public to see just how far Steve's dream has progressed and how much further it can go.
Well, what we have here at Spaceport is essentially a potted history of Starchaser. We've got some of the early rockets and early capsules that we put together, and it's a great way of interfacing with the public and bring the public into what we're doing.
It's a dream job.
Before this capsule came to spaceport, we had something like 6,000 school children actually physically come in here, sit in this chair and pretend to be Captain Kirk or Buck Rogers or whoever today's space hero is. The kids get a buzz out of it. And you know, when we used to take this around to schools, all the kids would come through and then the teachers would be hanging around the door and go, can I get in? Can I have a go? So it really does grab people, and you really can sit here and pretend to be Captain Kirk or Buzz Aldrin or something for 5 minutes.
5 minutes out of your life, but a lifetime's work for Steve.
Over here, this first rocket is the Starchaser 1A rocket. I put that together myself back in 1994. It was first launched in 1995 and it was launched another 3 times after that. So we actually flew that first rocket there 4 times. And then what I did, I got some sponsorship and I built a 2x scale version of this rocket, called it Starchaser 2. And this is it over here. So this is exactly twice as tall as the other one. I put this together in 95 and it was launched in February 96. This qualified as the largest non-governmental rocket ever flown in the UK at that time. This was the last big rocket I ever built at home. By the time I was working on this, the project had grown into quite a big undertaking. It occupied the living room, the dining room, the bedrooms, the garage. You know, it really kind of took off. Next in the series is this rocket, the Starchaser Discovery rocket. That's a 2-stage rocket. I first launched it in 1999, and then we modified it a little bit and launched it again in the year 2000. This rocket here, this is the SHARP one. SHARP stands for Supersonic High Altitude Research Project. Quite a mouthful, so we call it SHARP. This was the first supersonic rocket we flew. And the one next to it, that's SHARP 4. We actually launched 2 identical rockets on the same day. SHARP 4 and 5 therefore look exactly the same. We had some experimental stuff in the nose cone. It was linked to a university project at Salford University. We had some probes in the nose cone that were measuring the temperature. As the rocket went supersonic, it got nearly twice the speed of sound. You know, it really went. The rocket next to it is SHARP 3. That's a much bigger and beefier rocket, but we never got to launch that because the Civil Aviation Authority kind of changed the goalposts literally days before we were going to launch it, so we ended up scrubbing that. We went on to bigger and better things. This is our first liquid rocket engine. This started out life as a university project over at Salford University, and it was designed to kick out a thrust of about half a ton. So we put liquid oxygen and kerosene in one end, and we get fire and smoke and hot gas at the other end. And this was the precursor to all the other rocket engines that we've built to date.
Engines go, let countdown commence.